So something I've wanted to do for a really long time, and honestly since high school, haven't really ever gotten around to this project was building kind of like a hybrid engine of some sort for either like a car or a motorcycle, because I'm now going through a huge motorcycle phase. Um, because I think uh, the combination, like trying to figure out what could green energy look like long term, because I think it's a super interesting problem and it's super cool. So I'm taking a class this semester called 270, which is Professor Slocum's Fundamentals of Precision Product Design. And I think for my project, I want to make kind of like uh, for a motorcycle, what a green engine would look like. So there's a couple options. I found these electric motors. They're T-Motor U15s. Found two of them. Ugh, they're real chunky. Look at that. So I found these in Miters actually, um, which is a shop here on campus, and they do around 17 newton meters of peak torque each at stall. That's at around 170 amps of DC current, which is, so they're ridiculous motors, absolutely ridiculous. But what I'm thinking is we combine that with, I also found a gearbox, a full dirt bike 6-speed shifting gearbox in Miters. Combine those together with either, so the easiest option would be to take a gas engine from a motorcycle and kind of do a more traditional hybrid powertrain and see like how much fuel we save. But what I kind of really want to do, if this works out, and I'm doing like the calculations for it right now, and Professor Slocum is helping me with it, is if we put a hydrogen fuel cell on the motorcycle, and the idea would be kind of like the hydrogen fuel cell is more like a trickle charger rather than it powers the bike, so there'd be a big battery, and for acceleration, the battery would power the motorcycle. During steady state driving, the hydrogen fuel cell would help a lot. And then during deceleration, we would use regenerative braking to recover a lot of the energy used during acceleration. So we would brake using electrical braking of the motors, slow down the bike, and recover a lot of that lost power. Is a very common way hybrids work. And the hydrogen fuel cell, like after you stop, the fuel cell would have enough, would slowly charge the battery back up. So like when you turn the bike off, the fuel cell could still keep running until the battery is charged, because you don't need to, it's not loud, it's not producing emissions, like you're not idling somewhere to recharge the battery back up. So the hydrogen fuel cell could keep working theoretically. So this is the idea. We're still doing math. The third option is hydrogen combustion, which is really cool, which is when you take hydrogen and you feed it into an internal combustion engine. Now, this is not completely ideal because it produces nitrous oxide, NO2. I think it produces NO2, but so it also will produce a little bit of CO2. Every combustion reaction will produce a little bit of CO2. So we'll see. That is another alternative. That's more like the first of these ideas, but with an alternative fuel. I really like the hydrogen fuel cell in the middle, but like we have to see if it's going to work. We're going to do some math. But maybe I'll bring you over here and I can show you my drawing. Okay, so like here's my drawing. Basically, up here we have a hydrogen fuel cell tank that powers the hydrogen fuel cell. There's a power converter that supplies that power to the battery, which we don't really know the size of that yet. Then the battery has a motor controller connected to it, and that goes to the motor, which goes to the gearbox, which goes to the rear wheels. And then the rear wheels, there's a second motor on the bike, and that's purely for regenerative braking, because it's hard to regenerative brake through the gearbox. And that motor goes through a charge controller of some sort and recharges the battery. So that's kind of like the system we're thinking of. Yeah, so I think we're gonna try that, and we're gonna see how it goes. So and the reason I'm videoing this is not because I'm an expert on this topic by any means. I'm going to be learning I've never built a hydrogen fuel cell or an engine or anything like that before. I've done some motor stuff, but the reason I'm videoing this is because I think if it works, it could be really cool as an open source, like, fuel cell system for vehicles. And I want people to be able to take that and expand it to, like, other vehicles and other things, because I think it would be awesome. And, like, yeah, open source is fun, and yeah, so we go for open source here. So I guess I'm just documenting it for my purposes as well, because then I can remember what I did, but also so hopefully someone can take it and make it, like, really awesome in the future, because we'll see how far we get. Yeah. That's the vlog for the day.